Hi everyone, it's Adam here with the Northern Rose. We're here at your party conference, soon to be renamed to, we'll find out by the end of the day, but we're here to find out what your party is offering people, what they're offering voters, and what the your party members feel. Do they feel optimistic about politics? Do they feel optimistic about the future of Jeremy Corbyn, Zarah, Sultana? Will they be able to come together and fix the rifts that seem to have opened up already? So yeah, we'll be covering the event, finding out what people think, and hopefully there'll be some positive hope for the future of your party and socialist politics.
Hope you're all enjoying Liverpool.
What are your hopes for your party then? And you say you're a primary school teacher. What are some problems that you're having in primary school, and how do you think your party can solve that?
So obviously, as a primary school teacher, and I'm working in the city, London, there's a lot of children that live in poverty, right? I've been a teacher for 12 years now, and it's just the numbers are keep on rising and rising, and you can see parents struggling, working 2 jobs kind of thing, and they just can't put food on the table. And obviously, you've got a cost of living crisis, and it's for parents, for children, it's hard. It's like, and you know, when I was growing up as a kid, there was a level of prosperity where I didn't have to worry about if there's food on the table. Even though I grew up poor and working on a council estate, like where these kids are going home and the only meal they get to eat is at school because the meals are free kind of thing. So yeah, I worry about the future for the children. And currently we've got an economic system that doesn't favour the many, it favours the few, and there's a lot of children suffering. So I'm basically here because I want a better future for the children that I teach kind of thing. So yeah. And
you think your party can provide that?
I'm hopeful that it can. Obviously, I've seen like the recent infighting, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna like kind of put that under the carpet. It kind of that makes me a little bit doubtful, but there's a vision, and I believe in the vision of that it wants better for the people. So do I think it can? I'm hopeful. I do have my doubts, I won't lie, like just because I've seen the recent infighting over the recent weeks, and that's why it made me reason come here more to see what's it like on the ground, not what's in the media kind of thing. When I was growing up, I've always seen the Green Party as white, middle class. It doesn't really, it's only recently I've seen like black people of colour within the Green Party, so it's interesting. So what's the deputy leader's name? Is it Moulton? I forgot his name, but that's the first time I've seen like someone of colour in the Green Party. Before it was like, you see Caroline Lucas, like Natalie, I forgot her name as well, but you see all these white women and you're like, I can't connect with it because it just seems like a very middle class white party, and it's just I couldn't connect. It's only recently now you go, they've got Asian deputy leader, so you kind of go, okay, this is interesting, but yeah, I just can't connect with it. And also, I think the environment, and I care about the environment, but when you're someone that's families from the global south, and the environmental issues affect them very deeply. So I'm St. Lucian, but a lot of my family is Jamaican, so Hurricane and Melissa recently, and that affected their family. But you also realise the Western world has gained a lot of prosperity from the dehumanisation and the colonisation and the marginalisation and like from the global south, and it's kind of wild for me to go, you know what? Now that we've the environment in the Western world, everyone else should care about the environment too, kind of thing. So that's why I kind of don't like mess with the Green Party too tough, because I'm like, so environmental justice, I agree with it, but I also think it comes from a very privileged position as well. So yeah, I can't really connect with the Green Party. I do like Zach Polanski, I won't lie, but I can't connect with the Green Party, yeah.
And we're here with Sam, who's one of the councillors at your party. Sam, you were here yesterday, so if you can tell us a little bit about how it was yesterday and what you hope to get from the conference today.
I mean, I think this opportunity is once in a lifetime opportunity, and I feel like what happened yesterday in conference, it was exciting. I know there's some squabbling going on behind the scenes and to some degree in public, but I think we can get over that. We're socialists at the end of the day, and I think we've got a strong conviction to provide for the people of this country, and I think we need to put that to a side and fight on, really.
Yeah, and so do you think that you see it as a positive, hopeful future for your party then?
I do. I think some changes need to be made, but those changes need to be made democratically by the members, and I think when everyone understands that, who are involved, I think we will create a path to a better future.
A mass, democratic, working class movement, the largest socialist party in the UK since the 1940s. is historic. More than 2,000 delegates in this hall with thousands more watching online and voting. And today we will finalise the structures of a party that belongs to its members, not to MPs, not to donors, not to nameless, faceless, unelected bureaucrats, but you, its members.
And what do you think are the most important political issues at the moment? What would you like your party to, engage with first, if you had an order of preferences?
See, immigration is a key issue in this country, and I don't know why, because immigration is not the problem. And if they're saying immigration is a problem, then they should pick something else to replace immigration. You wake up every day is immigration. Is there nothing else they can talk about than immigration? That is a question I'm putting out there for them to hear.
Yeah. And so do you think, what is the biggest issue for them? If it's not immigration, what is, in your mind, the biggest problem that the country faces?
They should find the biggest issue for themselves. I'm not going to find it. They should find, the way they find immigration, they should find another issue they should talk about.
So, like wealth inequality, would you say that's up there?
See, wealth inequality is everywhere. Yeah. But they are not going to pick on that. So I'm not going to tell them, because they know that there's no equality anywhere. So they should pick on that on themselves. That's okay, let's do wealthy equality, which I know they will never do, and which I know they will never pick on. So there's no point. So they should think and see what next they should do.
Yeah, and would you trust in Jeremy and Zarah to fix wealth inequality in Britain if they got into power?
Even if they can't fix it, I know they will try. And I know they will keep on trying until they fix it. That one I know. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be in years, but I know they will fix it. And we hope, and I hope, and everybody hope it's going to be fixed, because we all want it to be fixed. It's enough is enough. Let's share this word.
I have only a few minutes to present the speech.
If your party had one kind of key policy, what would you think that the main policy for your party would be?
Anti-austerity, absolutely anti-austerity. We have lived in austerity for too long, while the gap between those that do the 1% that owe 50% of the wealth is unacceptable. It's an anti-austerity party.
And what do you think that the solutions to that are? What policies would, if your party were in government, what would you pass to fix that?
This is a very in-depth question, but let me just say, we have trimmed around the edges, but what we have done is taken from the people that are working the hardest, our shopkeepers, our teachers, our nurses, and we have left alone those with the most, the 1%. We're not asking for too much here. Anybody earning over £10 million in assets, we can tax them a certain amount of money. Now, that's simple to say, but there's maths behind this, and we've got so many avenues to address this issue that we do not need to keep taxing the poorest and coming out with this excuse that we don't have enough money. We have plenty of money. We just need to choose to use it in the right place.
And obviously the Green Party kind of share that, addressing wealth inequality. Do you see yourself working with the Green Party in the future? And if so, what kind of ways do you think that would work?
Yeah, look, it's too early to make convicted statements on this point, but absolutely, somebody asks me, and people ask me all the time, there's already the Green Party, but there's at least 3 right-wing parties in Parliament at the moment. There's definitely room for more than one left-wing party.
Yeah, and do you see your party pushing the Labour Party back towards the left, or do you think that that's too far gone now?
No, you know what, I don't make any bones about the fact that when I stood, I wanted the Labour Party to know that you have gone too far. I belong to the Muslim community, and the Muslim community votes for Labour. Of those that vote, 70% always vote for the Labour Party. They are the most dedicated, committed community to the Labour Party. But when we needed them to speak on our behalf, they remained silent. So my existence in Parliament is for them to look at me and say, look, there's plenty more where he came from, and they will a statistical reminder for them to move back to the position that they should have been initially. They haven't shown any of that in the last 16 months, so I feel that it may be too late.
And our viewers, our readers are mainly from Manchester. What would you say to people from Manchester for why they should vote for you or join your party?
Well, Manchester's a great city. I went to university in Manchester. Absolutely love it. Look, the northern powerhouse here. We've got the working class people in Manchester. This is the place where the newspapers came to this country, where people from the working class showed what can happen to this country. This is going to be fundamentally a working class socialist democratic party, and we need the people of Manchester behind us.
2 speakers for
And we're about halfway through the day. Zarah Sultana's just about to come and speak at your party conference. Felix, how do you think it's going so far?
Yeah, it's been all right. I think there's a kind of like air of optimism despite all the fighting, infighting, factional politics. But I think people seem to be saying that it's not that case in the membership of the party, and that's a kind of leadership problem. But that the membership of the party is united, and that will ultimately overcome those kind of factional problems.
Yeah, I think it's really shown the power of giving the members a say, is that even whatever's going on in the leadership, the members still believe they have the power to shape the party. And I think that's come through, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's like everyone we've been interviewing has been commenting on the kind of like ultra-democratic nature of the party and how that's really, really important to them. So, yeah.
And have you found it to be convincing for you? Have you thought, oh, actually, yeah, that sounds like the kind of party I could see myself coming towards? Or, yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think, like, naturally I would have gravitated towards your party, and when it was first announced that Jeremy Corbyn and Zarah Sultana were forming a political party, I was dead on board. The kind of, like, left-wing politics, focus on trade unions, trying to have a kind of more diverse base, its attention on Gaza and international politics more generally, that resonates a lot. Am I convinced by what I've seen so far and over the weekend? Not really, if I'm being honest.
Arrived in Liverpool, people who had travelled across the country, took time off work, booked hotels, spent hundreds of pounds that they could not easily spare, discovered at the door that they had been barred.
So your party have just come to the conclusion of their vote to pick for collective leadership instead of executive leadership. So this was kind of billed as a competition between Corbyn's idea of a party under executive leadership or Zarah Sultana's idea of collective leadership. As we can see, Jeremy Corbyn is speaking now. Yeah, and how are you feeling so far about the conference, the vibes today?
I think it's been a great conference so far. Some sharp debates on the conference floor yesterday, and I'm delighted with a number of the results that have just been voted through there, a number of the amendments that I voted for. I'm particularly pleased that the conference and the members voted for a collective leadership, because I think that reflects a mood across your party that we need to do politics differently, that actually the power in this party sits with the members, and that the members will elect a collective leadership from the membership and not hand all the power to the politicians, which unfortunately so many of the mainstream parties run along these lines. So I do think that was a great result that happened, and it shows the democratic impulses in your party.
I'm here with Finlay. We've just seen Zarah Sultana speak at your party conference. What did you think of the speech?
I thought, if you remember, you're probably quite happy with it. Bit of a rallying cry. It did sort of call out Corbyn as well, and the sort of Corbyn wing of the party, I guess, who preferred I guess they got an option of a single leader or a sort of collective leadership. Oops, sorry. So she called out that. She did talk about policy, which I guess I've been here for 2 days, haven't really heard much in terms of actual policy, in terms of policy they would actually go to the public with. I've heard a lot of wrangling over how the party is actually going to work. So that was quite interesting. I think probably to the members who are probably considering leaving, I probably thought some of them are probably back on board now after the speech. It laid out a bit of a narrative for the party, which I guess they've been lacking with all the infighting.
I come away feeling, very positive, very hopeful. It was an excellent run conference, which has quite surprised me, considering the difficulties of
Why is it?
It's all run by volunteers, apparently. I did want to see Zarah and Jeremy have a hug, which never happened. And it seems they are not a terribly good relationship.
Yeah, it seemed slightly frosty, didn't it?
Yeah, but I did hope that was just all gossip. But I thought they both did brilliantly, and I think Zara's taking it forward, and I want Zarah to take it forward.
And you said
not in a factional way, just I think that's the politics we need, and that's what we've all voted for.
I'm here to advocate for getting socialist change on the agenda today and yesterday. We're here to speak to comrades, speak with other groups as well, make sure that we're actually having these conversations behind the scenes, so it's not just whatever's going on that stage, because I don't think that's truly representative of the people in the room right now, because we're not getting to see and hear everyone right now. So yeah, it's really important that we have these conversations and work together and unify the party.
So just to clarify, you don't think what's happening on stage is representative because of the kind of factional divides? Is that what you're alluding to, or?
Not completely. I think there's elements of that, but I also think the way that this conference has been set up has not allowed us to fully represent the people that we're representing. Like, there's not delegates like in the way there should be here. The sortition system hasn't been able to produce like a real representative body of people that are for the party, where we can like have these constructive conversations. Rather, it's been people that are advocating their own individual issues, and we've only had two people being able to speak on either side of the issue, and that's not helping healthy debate, here. And so we'd want more debate, less speeches that are not actually being democratic to the body of the conference. And yeah, I think that would make a huge difference, and that would be representative.
So we're here at the end of the Your Party conference. We've just seen Jeremy Corbyn's final thoughts. We've seen the agreement that it will remain Your Party. And ultimately, there seems to be some good vibes at the end of the day, wasn't there? But we did see a lot of fractious conflicts about specifically the policies that your party are going to have going forwards. Yeah, how would you sum it up, Felix?
Yeah, I would say that the atmosphere in general is a kind of enthusiasm for the politics that everyone has here, and that the strength of that politics can overcome the division at the top, division of the leadership, because the membership is united on what they believe in and what they are for and what they're against. That's a general feeling. I think from what we saw during the debates on different amendments, I mean, it was a lot of arguing, and it was slightly chaotic again. So I think the feeling is there's a lot of people here, with similar politics who really believe in socialism. But I think there's a hesitancy to that.
Yeah, and we've got some footage that we'll be able to show you of the kind of fractious nature of it and the argumentation that was going on.
My father is a notorious M in prison. I am not scared of you. You do not scare me.
But I do think that people feel in a way that your party gives permission for that, because people do feel they have power within it. Whether that's actually the case or not is another question. But I think if people feel that they have the power, maybe it will inspire more people to get involved. Because we kind of had a little chat about it, whether it was a good idea or not, to see all of this fractiousness. But maybe it does inspire people to get involved. I think, well, I can actually have a say. I can actually push forward my policy agenda rather than just leaving it to kind of people who've been in the party forever.
I don't know how much the political messaging and political discussions that were going on here would resonate with the wider public. They're very meticulous and talking about the real nitty-gritty of ways that the party is going to be organised and policy difference. I don't know if I'm exactly clear on, say, the kind of 3 key messages that your party have. I think the Greens have some very clear messaging, and I don't know if I don't know if I came away from this knowing what is going to be prioritised by your party, because I guess they don't know either.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think it did seem more like getting the vibes right before the policy, whereas the Greens seem to have that head start in that they've got the vibes already, and they already have their policies. So I think there is a head start there. But it was, like you said, it did feel like people were building that optimism again, despite the fractiousness. So anyway, thank you for following our coverage of your party conference. Please like the videos and subscribe to the Northern Rose. Cheers, everyone.